What's up, everyone? Episode number 31 on Jim Guy's podcast, and we are here to talk about our Arnold picks for this week. The Arnold Classic, for those of you who know or don't know, starts this weekend. I believe prejudging's Friday into Saturday, and we got tons of events that are going to be surrounding that, of which pretty much all of us here are part of it. So let me introduce our co-hosts. We have Eric Schwartz, CEO of Paw Power and Master of Ceremonies at the Animal Cage this year, the 20th anniversary of the Animal Cage. Look at this, so amazing. Shots.
A 5-year hiatus from the Arnold. I worked 12 animal cages in a row, and then obviously COVID hit, and then animal didn't go back till last year. I couldn't make last year, but I'm there this year.
Dude, I'm so psyched you're back. It's as I posted before, I told you the OG DNA of the brand is back at the cage, so it's going to be awesome. So we'll see what he brings with the boot and what he's wearing and how it's going to be. He's not playing games.
How's the weather out there? It's going to be in Ohio.
I don't even know.
Check right now. It's probably similar to here.
While he's checking the weather, Scotty Applebaum, IFBB Pro, 4 Pro Card winner at the Team Universe in 2023, integrated health and wellness for biohacking, longevity, bodybuilding, fitness, diet. And I'm proud to say I've been working with Scotty for a little bit, and the changes have been great. Just check my last post, and you'll see what he's been able to do for me. Take stock in zucchini because I'm buying all of it. But really, not just saying it because he's my friend and he's on this show. Just fantastic guidance. I've really been enjoying the journey and finding out another level of what I'm capable of doing. So thank you, Scotty. Really appreciate it.
I'm glad that things are moving in the right direction now,
Yeah, make sure you check out his site, Scotty Applebaum. He's on Instagram. We'll get to all the different handles at the end of the show, but make sure you're checking out both these guys, whether it's sports nutrition, dog nutrition, or your own nutrition. So we're here to talk about the Arnold Classic. Can't believe it's here, and what a great event it's going to be. I would say, I don't know, what do you guys think? I'm not just saying it. One of the best competitor lists we've seen in a long time.
Basically, basically the Olympia lineup.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. Basically the Olympia lineup. I missed Samson Dowda at Bev's. He came in while he was I guess he had some time in between flights, so he came in, and all the times I'm there, I missed him. So let's start. I guess if you guys want, start with that. What are you thinking of the pictures that he's posted so far?
Scotty asked, I'll give you the quick weather report. We're looking at basically a high of 50 almost every day.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Definitely not the coldest that we've ever had there, because we've had some brutally cold weekends there. A couple of times we got snowed in where we couldn't fly home. We had to drive home. So I don't see any snow.
Wow. And Scotty, it's good by you, obviously, right?
Oh yeah.
Maybe they'll move the Arnold Classic there one day. So yeah, let's get started. I can go share my screen and just talk about some competitors.
I just think the lineup is, phenomenal competitors, and I think that it's going to be extremely close, throughout the entire lineup, when you talk about, it's a who's who and how close these guys can be, as far as judging. I think they're going to be, due to the fact there's what I think well, I think there's 11 now. I thought it was 12. You have, guys who actually will be compared over and over and over again because of the lineup being, maybe I think it's 11 or 12 competitors,
Yeah, I was looking at this picture earlier in the week, and I think it's 12, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's kind of
well. De La Rosa's not in it, so he backed out.
Oh, I didn't know that he backed out.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so to your point, 11 competitors, which I think the best way to describe them is like, oh my God, like I don't even want to say let's forget about first because I don't think first is solidified by any means. Um, at least in my opinion. But I mean, talk about second, third, fourth, fifth. I mean, like who you got? It could be so many people here. That's what I really love about this lineup. I just think you got all great, for lack of better words, and guys, please take this as a compliment if you're watching it. You got all runner-ups here. I mean, it really is unbelievable how stacked the lineup is. But let's go through that. Yeah.
just to break in, I mean,
Yeah.
you have, let's, Samson Dowdy, you can, you don't really have to, say much about. But when you talk about Lunsford now working with a different coach, you're talking about Brandon Curry now, who's working with Justin Harris. You're talking about Hollingshead, who's working with Stefan. You're talking about, Carlos Thomas Jr., who it could be a dark horse. Sean Clarita, who probably looks the best he's ever looked, who's now also working with Stefan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bonac, who's from the pictures I've seen, looks back almost in his top form.
Was also with Stefan.
Yep, and Andrew Jacked, who could, he could win, and then of course Akeem, who looks better and better and better, who really had a very short off season since, and the more he competes, the harder he looks. I mean and then of course, you have guys like Justin Rodriguez, and Patrick Moore, it's where do you go? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and I hope that Steve just puts them through the paces and does comparisons. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, that's a really good synopsis. Eric, what's your thoughts?
Back loaded lineup, man. Like I said, this is basically the Olympia, without Hottie. Um, it's going to be a heck of a battle, man. Tough one. It's a tough.
I
Trying to put my placings down and what I thought, and it's definitely
right.
the top five. That's how good
Yeah,
I'm struggling.
totally agree with that.
Well, you have four Mr. Olympias if counting Sean, right? You have Samson, Derek, and Brandon, and then you count Sean because he's at 212 Mr. Olympia.
Hey, yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's wild, man.
Right?
Yeah, and you saw how well Sean fared at Prague. Whether it was Fitzwater to the left of him or, Bumstead to the right. And I forgot one of the other guys that was a great runner up that was the local guy in Prague. I mean, he really held his own. And honestly, he looks like he's even only better than he was in Prague based on the recent post that he made. I mean, he looks incredible.
And he'd only been with, Stefan for a very short period of time at that point.
Yeah. Yep. I think, to your points, both of you guys, I think Derek's the hungry one, got a lot to prove, got some nice, probably positive changes in his life. Probably bring the benefits of those changes to the stage. Um, I agree with you. I think Clarita could be certainly a dark horse. I think Andrew Jack's probably going to surprise a lot of people. Not surprise, probably bring what everyone's been wanting him to bring. Supposedly, Chris Aceto just mentioned recently that he's got the Texas Pro look to him, which was an unbelievable look and probably only better. If I had to pick someone, and I'll ask you guys this, if I had to pick someone that would be probably, I don't want to say the surprise, but like, yeah, maybe we saw it coming and he's fulfilling his potential and wow, he's even better than I remember him last. I'd have to say Carlos Thomas Jr.
Yeah. I heard a couple interviews with him and a couple podcasts, and he seems like everything is operating on all cylinders in his life at this point. And he had some personal issues that hampered him in the past, but I think that he sounded so mellow, so relaxed, which is a big part of it. Because if you come in stressed, it affects the way your physique looks.
Definitely. And I know people are posting and talking a lot about how great Brandon Curry looks. I mean, he looks great. I'm not seeing him without, the tank top on completely. I mean, obviously he looks like he's coming in his good shape and he's local. So Brandon can, I don't want to say surprise anyone. I mean, the guy's a former Mr. Olympia. I mean, he's awesome, awesomely put together. So we'll see if, guys like him and Bonac and some veterans, just take it to the youngsters and just show them what muscle maturity is really all about. Also curious to see Hollingshead. I think he's going to
Yeah,
be.
but yeah, from what I understand, he's probably going to be the best he's ever looked. He when he's worked with coaches in the past, he works with them. You know what I mean? But he's letting Stefan really just take the wheel here.
I think James. I
What'd
don't
you
know.
say?
James will definitely be a factor. I got him cracking the top five for sure, and definitely being a factor in this show.
And I will tell you, I think the most genetically gifted person in the lineup, win or lose, is Andrew Jack. I think he has the most potential out of anybody in that lineup. Chris, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Thank you. I think Jacked and Carlos are the shock factor guys. Like, oh my God, and everyone, we all know from past bodybuilding shows, the guy that comes in the most improved or the guy that people haven't seen in a while usually grabs the most attention. So I think that works in their favor. And again, I don't know, I can't comment on Patrick Moore because everyone was just focused on the stupid fight video, but it'll be interesting to see what he's able to come up with because he's just got genetics galore.
Yeah,
Wonder,
I haven't seen anything regarding Justin Rodriguez though at all. I don't hear nothing. Has anybody?
I have not.
I wonder if the Patrick Moore thing throws him off his game because he dealt with all that drama. I wonder if that throws him off.
I hope not. It's been a long time since what, 2019 Olympia when he surprised everyone. It's already 5 years since then. It's pretty nuts. Almost six.
Wow. Yeah.
Goes fast. So I'll call you guys call out. What do you think? Top five. What's your top five?
It's so hard. It's so hard.
I wrote one down, but I struggled with it. And so, I mean, I have one, and I can give it to you, but like you could mix all these guys up.
Okay.
All right, I'll go first. I got Samson winning. Just the history of bodybuilding. If you don't knock out the champ, I think he's going to win it. But I got Derek in second, and that could flip flop though. That could absolutely flip flop. I have Hollingshead shaking it up and coming in third.
Really?
And I struggle with these last two spots. I have Sean Clarita and Andrew Jack in there. I also got Akeem on the bubble. I'm struggling with the rest of it, to be honest.
Okay. It's hard. It's hard. It's a really tough lineup to pick out. What about you, Scotty? What do you think?
I don't know. My gut right now, as we're sitting here speaking, and I think Samson is incredible. I got a feeling Lunsford's going to take this.
I'm with you.
Be shocked.
I really do. I think Samson's going to be second. I got Carlos Thomas in third, Andrew Jack in fourth, Sean Clarita fifth. And I feel terrible. I would let the two others that really stick out to me are Curry and Bonac. I want to give him more respect, but I just can't help picking what I'm picking. And then of course Akeem. Though that's how I see it.
I'm pretty close to your picks.
And Curry and Bone, they are on the older side, so
Yeah.
hard to, as you get older, and it's hard to be in that top spot. But
And I don't want to say a little bit of a tiny bit of a miniaturized version of themselves. I'll take that miniaturization any day in my life. But I think that's what they're dealing with too a little bit, both Curry and Bonac. For me, I agree with you, Scott. I think Lunsford's hungry, working with different coaches, going to bring the package that we all wish he brought to the last Olympia, and probably better than his first Olympia. I think Dowda comes in second. Just judging right now by what we're all seeing, where I just don't think it's contest ready condition, but we all know many can pull off miracles in 72 hours, 48 hours, 36 hours, 24 hours, whatever it may be. So I like Lunsford, Dowda. I got Jack as third, Carlos Thomas fourth, and then yes, I like Clarita fifth. I do think he's going to show a lot of people up there, and that could even flip flop a little bit. That was my top five.
Well, so you and I are pretty close. I just feel that Sean has made such a dramatic change, and he's not going to look that small in the lineup, and the people are going, the judges are going to notice that,
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, it was definitely evident watching the Prague Pro over the fall. I mean, he was hanging in there big time. Everyone was just saying, "Oh my God, it's a mini Ronnie Coleman," and he's just phenomenal up there. So, and
And
that's no
I think
disrespect.
he's filled out a lot more since then.
And he has, and back to what Eric and you were saying too. No disrespect to Hollingshead. The shed could come in and make fools of us. Please do.
I've picked him in the past higher, and unfortunately, and again, I think he's a great bodybuilder. He just doesn't nail it.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to say the least. So I think super stacked lineup. Any other thoughts on men's open?
It's the best lineup that I can remember in a long time.
Yeah. I'll agree. I'll agree. I can't wait to watch the prejudging. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And listen, maybe Dowda, changes mine and Scotty's opinions. I just didn't like I just didn't like what I saw through the shirt, whether he was at Bev's or the few days before and then I mean, forgive me. If you're competing the Arnold, should you wait and fly out, 4 days before the Arnold, or should you be there like at least 8 to 10 days before the Arnold?
Because he's coming from another country, I would have came earlier personally.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
I'll kind of be devil's advocate here. The guy is so used to traveling. He's so used to look. He decided to compete in France right before the Olympia, and everybody thought he was nuts, right?
Valid point. Valid point.
But I just think Derek's going to come in big and shredded. I've seen what his legs look like now, and they look crazy.
Yeah, I'm liking the Derek factor here.
And I think he's going to be relaxed.
That vengeful, right? In a good way. And I don't know, I feel like there's going to be, just judging by how many times the crown's been changing Olympia wise, I feel like it's like time for like that Gunter Schillerkamp, Ronnie Coleman, GNC Pro Show, episode again, where like, oh my God, how could Ronnie lose? And it's going to be interesting.
The pressure's all on Samson. He's the Olympian. So if he loses, that's a lot of pressure for him. There's a lot of for him.
So that's our thoughts on men's open. You guys want to take it from here with classic? I can move to that picture if you'd like.
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
On these other categories, I'm not as familiar. I know a few of the players, but I don't know the lineups that deep.
Well, you know who my favorite is.
Well, what happened at the Olympia there, my friend Chris?
Yeah. Although I got to tell you, man, I didn't think he was as off as everyone was saying he was. I mean, like I said, I'll take that off any day of the week, man. I just didn't think he was that off, but I think they scroll it on this picture. Let me see if they have another image here. Yeah, they do. Apologize. Yeah, there's your classic physique.
Yeah. Well, you have Summerfield, DeBoule, Vissers, Franklin, and Mac Regal. To me, those are your top guys.
What do you think of Logan Franklin's post, man? He looks freaking dynamite.
Yeah, he does.
Didn't he have he had a medical issue at the Olympia? Was it the Olympia issue? So he had to back out, right?
Something was up, but
Hopefully,
whatever he's been posting lately, holy shit.
the dude's got tremendous potential. His shape is great.
Yeah. I think it's pretty stacked lineup.
I like Regal. I do.
Okay. Training with Lunsford too, right?
Yeah. But Summerfield, his genetics are just freaky.
Totally agree.
That's why I think it's going to be a really, and there are guys that we don't know that are looking here that it could be, really good. You know what I mean? I can't wait to see this as well. You know, I
Before,
really
before,
can't.
yeah, let me pull that picture up again. I'm sorry. Yeah, I would say, Sommerfeld is, you know, definitely starting to become the favorite. Although, seeing pictures of Vissers a few weeks ago, I thought he was ready already then. The improvements were nasty. So I think he's going to come in a little bit bigger, just as tight, if not tighter. Probably improve the leg department a little bit. I don't know how much you can improve your back. His back looks insane, and of course he wants to hold on to the title.
But I think Grego is a rising star. You
He
know,
is. He is.
and I saw pictures of Michael DeBoule from the back. I mean, last week he looked crazy.
Did you see Matt Grego's last post at Pro's posing room?
Yeah,
Checking this out now because I don't really follow these guys, so I'm checking it out.
he looks big and lean. I mean, he thinks the biggest I've seen him. You know.
Oh,
Is he really tall? I can't tell because he's not standing next to anybody, but it looks
I
like.
mean, look at this. Look at the back shot, and
All right, I'm gonna preface this. I say this all the time. These guys look fantastic by themselves in the perfect
they
gym.
do.
You know, when they get next to the other guys, it's not always the same thing. So everybody, all these guys are gonna look fantastic by themselves. Really.
He, he just get honestly, he's just getting better and better and better. Here's a guy who won the New York Pro last year.
I like his shape.
Yeah, he's pretty phenomenal, man. And the shot's not here for some reason. I thought it was,
Might be on
unless I
his.
threw it. But he's got a twisting back shot like Horse MD had last year in his very posing room, and he looks phenomenal. Um, and I'm sorry, I might be confusing with Summerfeld. Summerfeld's got a great picture like that too. But that's Grego.
He looks big, man. He looks like he could do open bodybuilding. At least by
He
the.
will probably eventually grow into. I think because he's gonna, you know, he is tall, and I think he's probably gonna push that weight limit eventually. You know.
Just because I don't know what is their weight limit at this.
You know, I'm not off the top of my head. I don't know. And don't get me wrong. I do like Vissers. You know, if that picture you just passed, the aesthetics of his waist to leg ratio that you just that one in the well, I mean, I'm looking at the right hand corner.
Yeah,
That's a great shot. That double bicep with the legs.
Yeah, it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it's very pleasing to the eye. You know.
just there was an update. Yeah, this is it. This is the 4 week ago update. All right, 4 weeks ago. I mean, what is that? What is that?
Yeah.
um,
Hey, it looks great, this dude, man.
man, that is just like Arnold and then some personified.
I got to
Bicep.
tell you, classic physique is just it's that division is just growing like crazy, and I love the fact that these guys are so aesthetically pleasing. You know what I mean?
You
Totally
could
agree.
you could see the appeal of it. I mean, these guys look great, man. And this is I would think more people would want to look like these guys than the open guys.
Well, and it's more attainable.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just pull up what's Mikey's what like badass Mike
Yeah, it was something like Mike
Mike the
Badass.
badass.
You just type his name, it'll pop up because that's what I did.
There
Mike
you
the
go.
Station. He lives right down the road from me. He doesn't live too far from me, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he lives in the next town over. I see him.
I
I
had
run
no idea. I had
yep,
no idea.
him quite a bit.
Yeah, it's some.
I mean that one looks great. I mean, Jesus Christ, he looks fucking insane right there, man. That's what I say.
Almost,
It looks like
he almost looks like he looks like an open bodybuilder there. He just look like a
That's
classic
that's the
physique guy,
only
you
thing.
know.
totally looks
That's the
open.
only thing I'll take away is yeah. He's gonna maybe outmass, the current champion Vissers or anyone else. But like, I mean, look at this picture.
Yep, looks great there. Holy shit.
Scotty, you're gonna get update pictures from me in this room.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I need all the light I can get.
But I would when you look at Grego and Vissers, they they have more of the shoulder to waist to quad ratio. Where Mike, don't get me wrong, and I'm not putting him down. He's rounder and blockier, if that makes any sense.
No, he is. He is. These black and whites that he posted a few days ago were immense.
Yeah, he looks like an open bodybuilder here. Like I would have guessed
Yeah.
open. Showed me his pictures without telling me.
Yeah, that's the only that you know, which is the reason why I would say I got Wesley still first because Wesley just aligns with Arnold that much more for this show. Um,
As
you
long
know,
as he's
so
not off, he was a bit off, and I've listened to him on podcast Wesley, and I really respect him. But as long as he comes in, if he's off a little bit, he drops in placing. You know?
absolutely, he can look lanky. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, so what do you guys, going back to, looking at that lineup, what do you guys think as far as your top five? I'll pull it up again.
Very hard for me because I don't really follow that division that closely. I mean, Vizes is the reigning champ, so I would guess that he would be the favorite to win, but I don't know how to place these other guys.
I look at this is just for whatever reason I'm leaning towards Grego, Vissers, and Summerfeld. With flip flop, and then I got Logan and Michael DeBull. That's my top five.
Okay. Um, I like Vissers for first. It could flip flop with him or Summerfeld. I like Grego for third, and I like Franklin for fourth. That's about as deep as I can go with the
And
detail.
again, like I said, I picked DeBull for as well.
Correct. My bad. Yes.
He's he's pretty consistent.
Yes, he is.
So
So
let's go to men's physique next.
And here's where I am not as well versed as I'd like to say I am, but I know Bilal was just at Bez, and
I think that he is your winner.
oof,
Really? I do know. I was going to say Aaron Banks, but okay.
you got this guy Bilal is like wow.
Yeah, and I see, my pick would be, Bilal, and then Montenegro, to be quite honest. And I don't see Banks come. I see Banks coming in third.
Montenegro won last year, right?
What?
Montenegro won last year, if I'm not mistaken. He got emotional with Arnold on stage, if I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I like Chavez, Clark, and then Banks. I think Banks with the way these guys are looking, he comes in. He's very long legged and long arms. He looks a little lanky.
Very tall guy, so it's fill out. Thanks.
I think those are good picks. Again, without knowing, as deep of the lineup as I'd like to.
It's funny. I don't love the posing. The men's physique, but these guys they have a little more freedom in the pros than they do in the amateurs when it comes to men's and the guys at the top look really good. It's just the local level men's physique that I'm not nuts about. Once you get to the pro level, I have a better appreciation if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean they look.
Yeah,
they look amazing in person.
I am not a fan of the division at all, but the athletes themselves, awesome. Those guys look incredible.
I mean, seeing them in the gym, you're like, oh my God, these are the biggest guys on the planet. I mean,
And you know what I love more than anything else now, and Eric, you'll appreciate. They're filling out their shorts. The shorts are shorter, and their quads are filling out, so they look even though they're not judged. A judge looks and they look more aesthetic. You know what I mean? And they look just better. And even with calves, that's why when these guys have like lack of a better phrase, strings hanging from their knees, it just doesn't look good. Even though they're not judged, it just doesn't look good.
It's part of the overall physique. I mean, it's not men's competitions, men's physique.
There's a symmetry when you fill out the shorts, and then there are some calves there. It gives the whole look make a whole different look. And you see like a guy like Brandon, was won the Olympia. I think it was twice, 3 times. I'm sorry. you know, there's a guy that fills out the shorts. There's a guy that's got a pair of calves, you know,
Yeah,
that's why I'm a big fan of him, you know,
yeah,
Henderson, Brandon, you know.
another stacked lineup, you know. Wheelchair. I was lucky enough last year to have a drink with Harold Kelly, and I know he's coming back for vengeance on that. I mean, you know, we talk about the Open and the Classic and the physique, and they are all unbelievable. I mean, talk about just incredible mental and physical toughness. This is an amazing, ridiculously amazing division.
Yeah, the respect for these guys is off the charts. Incredible.
Oh yeah.
I think, you know, Andruli is the guy that really gives Kelly the biggest problem, you know.
Agreed. And judging by Kelly's post and what I've seen, I know he just opened up a gym. Like I said, I think he's really coming back to reclaim, and he's a fun dude. He's got a lot of great support from his wife, and should be awesome. It'll be good to see Nick Scott out there holding the torch for this sport, and
He's
uh,
built that thing, man. He built that
what a
division.
great dude, just touring the world and spreading the good word about this division. And we're lucky we got people like Nick Scott around.
Yeah. So I think there's also fitness, and then of course bikini. Those are the other two divisions, correct?
Yeah, I was looking for the post that they might have of that.
Well, you know, Ariel Kadar, who wasn't in the Olympia because I think she had an injury. She's my pick. I mean, she is, you know, Miss International. You know.
Is she competing though? I think she took time off, didn't she? She had a bad back injury, and
Yeah,
she.
but I think she's in. I think she's in the Arnold. You know, I could be wrong.
We talking about fitness here, Scotty?
Yeah, fitness. Yeah.
So to me, that is the most entertaining division because of those routines. I loved watching those routines. Those girls are incredible athletes.
Well, just on a side note, do you know Missy Trescott is going into figure?
Yeah, she said she's done with fitness, right?
Dude, I think she could win. I do.
Kick ass, man. She's freaking great.
So
Yeah.
I'm not super familiar with all the fitness competitors, but I do have a dark horse for the top 5 in fitness.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are you thinking?
Kristen Pope.
Oh yeah. One of our old Universal athletes, right?
Universal athlete. She was an Olympic lifter. She never did physique sports up until a couple of years ago, and then she switched to physique and she became pro, and now she's at the Arnold, and she's really good with her routines. Her physique has come a long way. I'm not saying she'll win, but I think she's going to be a factor in the top.
Jacqueline Baker.
That's bikini.
Yeah,
that's bikini. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, he's got a.
So there's no wellness at the Arnold, huh?
Yeah, they got to do. Yeah, right. Just feel like it should be a little bit more at the forefront.
I like the wellness.
The ladies.
Well, it says Kadar is in. You know.
Wow. Okay, that's an amazing comeback based on some posts that I read before that. Where
I'm just reading here. You know, and then you have Jacqueline Baker, who I know is always placed high, and Tiffany Chandler as well. I know, you know, pretty well. And you said Kristen Pope.
That's just my dark horse. I don't, like I said,
okay.
follow the division that closely that I can really tell, but I think she's made a lot of improvements, and her routines are really good.
What did they used to call this show back in the day when it was just bodybuilding? What was the women's division called?
It was just the Arnold Classic, as far as I remember.
It, Miss International.
Miss International, for sure, yeah.
You're right, Griffiths.
That's like what Laura Craval days, right?
Yeah. What a great physique.
Yeah, nuts.
Oh my God, incredible.
Well, look at Aceto's son, right? Coming up the ranks, and
yeah,
he's getting those genes.
So just rounding out in bikini, you have Lorelei, returning champion. Angelica Teixeira.
Her last, it's going to be her last show for Angelica.
Yes, that's right.
And then Amy Delgado. Those are the 3 names that really stick out to me.
Yeah, you got those right.
You see the Pro Am Nutrition? You guys see?
Yeah, Kai Green's announcement. Yeah, let's talk about, I guess, some of the great events that are coming with this, and we can scroll up and down here. But that seems to be Kai Green's big announcement. I think people were thinking maybe he'd come back into competition. I don't think that's the case anymore. Maybe it is.
I,
Um,
I love Kai. Kai's a great dude. And Scotty, if you remember, he worked at Gold's Gym in Brooklyn.
Look, I remember seeing him coming in with with Oscar.
I remember when he was a
Arena.
teenager at Gold's Gym in Brooklyn back in the 90s, and he was working as a trainer.
Yeah.
He was natural. He was competing in the natural shows and crazy genetics. And I love Kai. I think he's great physique, great guy. I feel like the fans were robbed of a great rivalry from him not competing against Phil after, when he stopped.
have you guys watched any of the recent Phil Heath shorts or interviews? He's been digging into a lot of like what he felt about Kai and all of what Kai would have been, and then I think he actually, I don't know if they're doing it just to create some fun controversy or not, but supposedly Phil said he didn't want Kai on the panel on stage at the Arnold because he's too salty for him. They'll get into it too much on stage, but Phil has been on camera saying that no one has been denser than Kai Green, and that he, probably could have went on to win one or a few of them.
I think he
I know that's how most people
should.
feel.
Kai still trains he still trains 2.5 hours every day.
Is he there with you at your gym?
He was also at he spent a lot of time at what used to be Busybody that is now called Wolf's Gym, that I think
Darren Charles.
yeah, but Darren trains there, but I think that what's his name, has a piece of now, because he lives down here, of course. Dan Solomon.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, a lot of great events. I got one of my high school buddies coming with me on this trip, and obviously we did nothing but watch Pumping Iron over and over back in the day growing up. Probably still do to this day. And I said to my buddy John, I'm like, check this out. Can't be any better. We should have brought extra T-shirts for Mike Katz, who's going to be honored as the Lifetime Achievement Award. It's pretty darn cool. I was lucky enough. I have it right here. This was the you're not gonna be able to see it that good with the glare, but that's my cats with Kevin Levrone when I competed at Kevin's second Levrone Classic in Maryland. So I was honored to meet my cats. Pretty cool. So be great to witness that. What else? Lots to do at this show, man. It's gonna be.
Main competition. I know we really didn't go over that, but those guys are incredible, man.
Oh, okay. Let me bring that up here. Strongman.
I know Mitchell Hooper is probably the favorite to win, but Thor is in it. I mean, these guys are nuts, man. I don't think people understand how large these men are. Um, I
10,000 calories a day.
I used to give out the awards at the Arnold on stage for Animal, and I have a picture with Hapthor. I should have sent it to you ahead of time so you could post it up here. And he makes me look like a small child. These guys are freaking dinosaurs. I mean, the big hands, big heads, super tall. Like if you stand the top strongman next to Evan Centopani, he makes Evan look small. That's
Yeah.
how
Yeah, they have like
popular,
you know
but they're
to
bigger, taller, big hands.
yeah, it's almost like I'm not making fun of anyone. So it's like they have gigantism. The extremities, right? It's
Definitely,
unbelievable.
they're definitely genetically different than most people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty insane. And I know Half Dork has posted a couple of times. Was he done? I forgot what he did at the competition last year, the year before, but he's what, 1,044, 1,056.
You're
Is he
going to see
doing one of those
multiple.
yet?
You're going to see multiple 1,000 pound deadlifts, 1,000+ pound deadlifts from these guys. Remember, in strongman,
Nuts.
they can use straps, they can hitch, so the rules are a little different than powerlifting, which allows them to do more weight.
Any way they can get it up,
Yeah. You can hitch, you can strap.
It's one of the things I always say about, you know, Eric's wearing the shirt and he's emceeing the Animal Cage event again, the 20th anniversary. And one of our athletes, John Hack, I mean, he just beyond defies gravity. Eric, you can correct me if I'm wrong. What's John weigh at? Like 198,
Yeah,
202?
he's done the 98, 198.
Okay. And he's deadlifting what, 900 pounds?
Yeah, he's probably the best powerlifter today competing because of that, because of he's not the biggest guy. Like he's pretty muscular. I mean, you stand next to him, he's a pretty muscular
Yeah,
guy.
no, he is.
He's
He's
not
got great.
like overly big. You know what I mean? You're not blown away by his size, but his strength is insane, man.
I mean,
Eric, what is the average age of these guys?
The strongmen, they're older. They're late 30s, early 40s. A lot of these guys that are competing. There's a
it's going to
couple.
be
The fact they
impressive.
could do what they do with their bodies, joint wise, given their age, is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that food intake itself is like beyond a job. I mean, my God, I don't know how you take all those calories in. It's just nuts. And then move around every day lifestyle
Yeah,
versus
Athletic. A big part of their competition is a cardio component. It's very different in powerlifting. They're, holding stones and running with them and stuff. You know what I mean? Doing
yeah.
carries. So it's very different than just pure strength. There's a lot of endurance involved in it.
Grant Higa always posts and talks about that. The type of cardio that he gets out of his trainings is just really impressive with what he does. Still to this day, at over 50, I mean, Higa is just awesome.
And it's fun to watch because they don't always do the same lift. Like each competition,
Yeah.
sometimes a different lift, which makes it fun to watch because it's different. I love powerlifting. Obviously, I'm a powerlifter. I love it. But squat, bench, and deadlift, it gets boring after a while. It's the same three lifts every time. These guys are doing different lifts each time. So
I mean, as far as powerlifting go, I love watching the deadlift, though. I mean, to me, that's the favorite to watch.
Yeah, I mean, that's just extraordinary right there.
Rose is offering 101K to the athlete who could lift 501 kilograms or more on the legendary bar. Oh yeah, they have
Now's the time to make your announcement, buddy.
yeah, they use that elephant bar, which is wild. It's like I don't forgot what it weighs, but it's much longer than a regular bar. Allows you to put a lot more plates on it, obviously.
Correct.
And talking about the Arnold, talking about 501 kilograms, they're giving $500,000 to the first place winner of the Open, $500,000.
And yeah, we'll see if Arnold even announces more since the Olympia anteed it last year, last minute to 600 grand.
That's an
So
incentive.
think about this, right? Samson Dowd, if he wins, earn 1.1 million in two first places in less than a year.
That's pretty wild.
Wild. So yeah, a lot of content here. If you go into the Arnold, um, between Cutler and Ronnie panel, Lifetime Achievement Award for Mike Katz. Congratulations. Um, just event after event, and then the free live stream from ESM, which is super duper cool. But what brands are you guys most interested in? I mean, Eric, I know for us it's animal, obviously, but um,
I like to
what
see
are you
what's
guys what are
I
you guys
like
looking forward to seeing or hearing about?
I like to see what's new, either new products or new brands. See if people. A lot of companies like to launch a product at the show. They'll time their launch with it.
Well,
So
I know Unmatched is going to be there, and he's just launched a standalone Paraxathian.
right.
I
So
just
he'll be
I just bought from your recommendation, Scotty, and those who see certainly Eric, who reviews supplements all the time, great reviews. I always like to try other people's products and talk about them and compare them to what I know from Animal. I just purchased Outlier from Chris. I told him I'd purchase it, and I was trying to get a flavor recommendation from him. I did pink lemonade. Great job with paraxanthine, and perfect for a guy like me who I do train late at night. Past 8 p.m. I'll train, and it's a perfect combo for me where I don't have to do anything specific with caffeine. So kudos to you, Chris Gethin and Unmatched, and Doug Miller with Outlier, a great pre-workout that you're not going to wig out on and get over caffeinated with because it's using paraxanthine.
how was it taste, Chris? Because I've been very critical of naturally
I
flavored.
do like it. I gotta say, yes, there is a taste that's associated with monk fruit or stevia, more naturally flavored, safer flavored products, if you will. I have no problem with it. It's fine. I'm
Scotty said he
hoping maybe
loved it. Thought he was
I'm
raving.
hoping Animal
I,
maybe comes
I, I you
out with
know,
the new
I'm
product.
actually going to be, I'm working with them now as an affiliate, and I'm going to actually be carrying their product in my training studio.
Oh, congrats.
That's how
That's great.
strongly I feel about this performance line that he has.
All right, that's cool, Scotty. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to buy and take all his products first, which I have. First of all, I love his isolate. Okay. His EAAs because they have longevity product, ingredients in it. That really, that really makes me, super happy. Um, his, I use Dissonant every single day. Great, great focus pump pre-workout.
Nasty pumps from Dissonant.
What'd you say?
Nasty pumps from Dissonant.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Scotty doesn't know that's on my diet, but that's like my dessert. Dissonant, outlier, they all taste like cake to me right
Yeah.
now.
I like the blood orange lime. That flavor to me is my favorite.
Okay.
Which
I
product?
had that in my hands, but sometimes orange can repeat on me a little bit, so I did the pink lemonade and it was excellent. So I still have a few more of his products to try, so I could always give customers my honest opinions of different products. But yeah, kudos to you, Doug Miller and Chris Gethin. Like what you guys are
And
doing in the
they're just
industry.
starting. I mean, they're just getting started. Really,
Yeah.
they have some stuff. That they're going to be coming out with. That's going to be next level stuff that nobody else is going to be producing.
They'll be at Bullfrog too on Thursday night. I'm like torn between whether I'm going to go to meet and greet athletes, Bullfrog, or Better Bodies Gas. But there's like so much to do Thursday night. Or I could just go to the cage and annoy Eric.
I don't know if we're gonna do it this year, but every year in the past, we finished setting up the cage on Thursday, and
Work
the
out.
gym is always so packed that we would just stay in the cage and we would work out in the cage.
I did it last year. Yeah, I did it last year with I think it was Juan was with us. I forgot who else was with me. Jay was with us. JC was with us. We were training a little bit there, so that was really cool experience. Speaking of experiences, if you're at the Arnold, make sure you get your butt over to the Animal Barbell Club event. That's going to be at Pros Gym. That's Friday night, 7 to 9. Just make sure you register. I think at Eventbrite.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
free, but go on Animals Instagram and there's a link in their bio just to register. You'll get some free stuff. You get to train with the athletes. The ABC, the Animal Barbell Club's amazing, a fun time.
yeah, and great place to at the booth to grab some new swag. I know they got some new designs. Kudos, Maria. If you watched this, you did a great job. And then again, getting a chance to just meet our legendary athletes, probably just some of the best people on earth.
They,
Very, very lucky to be affiliated with them.
What's cool is these athletes put it all on the line. I put up a couple of pictures on my Instagram story today of one was bleeding. Andy Wang bled one year.
And
Uh,
he's awesome. Yeah.
what's his name now? I can't even think of his name, but one of the athletes had to go to the hospital for rhabdo after doing his deadlift competition. Yeah, if you go on my stories, you'll see it. Go to the stories. Go up.
Okay. Where are we here?
Go up to the top. Up to the top. Up. There you go. Click on my profile. You'll see the stories. Yeah, click on that.
Oh, he's ready.
That's an old that was a cage uniform one. Baseball jersey.
I
I'll pull
love it.
that out. But go to the left. Go back on the stories for a second.
Sure. So this is
There
yeah.
there he is. He had to go to the hospital for rhabdo. And then Andy
Wow. And
bled
then
on
there's Andy. That's a young Andy or younger looking Andy. Yeah, my favorite last year. I don't know if everyone's watched it, whoever's watching this episode, but be sure you do. Watch the finale of Kenny Cooper on Sunday at the cage. I mean, from a guy recovering from both patella tendons being ripped off the year before to coming back and doing that. What did he do? He did squat, he did bench, and he did deadlift. It was amazing. Amazing.
the cool
Oh,
thing
so
about
let
the
me. Are you meeting Henderson, Chris?
Yeah. Henderson is going to be there. I think he gets in on Friday, and he's definitely going to be going to a lot of these events that I was just talking about. I mean, there's just great opportunity. If anyone hasn't seen yet, Henderson, this is his video is just awesome. Just talking about his road to the Masters Olympia and how he's going to gain actually weight or muscle into the show, grow into the show, and judging by what he's lifting these days. I mean, this guy's 64 years old. It's amazing. His tenacity, his dedication, his discipline, and just his love. We had him as a guest on episode 30, and we were just honored to have him on our show. So looking forward to meeting him at the Arnold and introducing him. And I got to get him some swag so he could wear it on his way. So what was he saying last time to us on the podcast? He was still wearing an old Muscle Farm shirt, or right? Is that what he's wearing, like a worn out shirt? So we'll get you some new swag for sure. But he's beyond awesome. I mean, just look at this, right?
I remember he was talking about Porter Cottrell. Remember on the podcast? You know, it's funny. Yes. I was listening today. Kai was on Jay's podcast, and he was talking about Porter. And Porter was won a lot of shows.
Yeah, it was Porter and LeBron back in the early 90s, right? Kind of going a little bit back and forth, especially in the beginning. I mean, for those of you who don't know, a Louisville, Kentucky firefighter. And just a hell of a gentleman. And I can't say this is from a day I was at Gold's Venice, but he did come into Gold's Venice one day and do a photo shoot when I was a member there in the early 90s. This guy looked like he had armored plates under his skin for chest and his delts. I mean, to see him in person was just like wild.
And aesthetics. He had aesthetics as well. You see right there.
Great dude, great ambassador to the sport. And he was
profitable. He was in the magazines a lot. He had a great look to him.
Yeah. I'm looking at the time, Eric. I want to be, conscious. I know you got to you have to pack up because you're leaving tomorrow.
Sure.
But I'm glad we're able to get on and talk about this. As you can tell, I'm excited.
Oh, how could you not? Like you guys said, it's really one of the best. It really is one of the best lineups yet in a long time, and just looking forward to seeing some of the different athletes, old friends, and business associates. Really looking forward to it. It's just such a great community.
Daddy, will you be watching the entire live stream?
Oh yes, of course, yeah.
You put it on a TV? You watch it on your phone?
Yeah, yes, I put it right on the TV. Yep. Well, listen, guys, travel safe, okay?
Thank you, Scotty.
Thank you. We'll be reporting in from time to time.
Yes, please do.
Send you some selfies.
And I'll make sure I bring that bandana for you, Eric.
Oh, please. That would be cool. I do want to cover this thing up, so that would be cool.
Definitely.
All right, great. Guys, thanks for coming on. This has been fun. And you hope everyone has a nice night.
You too. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for watching.
All right, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.